You know Shaletta makes you laugh, but did you know Shaletta Brundage can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Shaletta Brundage founded Shaletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African-American subject experts at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast quality commercial content. And Shaletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Shaletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.
Well, hello, lovelies. Welcome back to another episode of Get Lean and Lit with Lindy. This is the podcast for women over 40 who are tired of gimmicks, who are tired of detox teas, and are just generally tired of the fitness foolishness that's out there in the universe. So I'm your host, Lindy, and around here we believe in building muscle, losing fat, generally getting healthier, and actually enjoying our lives throughout the process. So today we're going to be talking about something that's been exploding in popularity over the last few years. So think about this. What if I told you that there was an exercise that burns more calories than walking, that builds muscle, strengthens bones, improves posture, is easy on your joints, and actually does not require a gym membership? So you'd probably think I was either tripping or trying to sell you something. Well, lucky for you, it's neither one of those things. What I'm describing is an activity that's called rucking. And it may be one of the best kept fitness secrets for women as we age. So if you've never heard of the word rucking, it's Rucking. If you've never heard of that word before, do not worry. Have no fear. I promise it's not another weird TikTok fitness trend or something that is on Instagram, just as a weird thing. Rucking is really a super simple concept. You basically put some weight in a backpack and you walk. That's it. No fancy choreography, no complicated equipment, or no hard learning curves. None of that's required. And you don't need a gym membership. It's simply walking with a strategy and a purpose. And here's what's really cool about it. Women are discovering that this incredibly basic activity checks off almost every box that we care about. It burns more calories than walking. It builds strength. It helps you maintain muscle. It challenges your heart. It's low impact, and it supports bone health. And best of all, it doesn't leave you feeling exhausted, like you got hit by a bus after you're done doing it. So today I'm making the case for why rucking deserves a place in your weekly fitness routine. Okay, let's get down to the basics. Where did this concept of rucking even begin? Because it's a weird name. Where did it even start? The name actually comes from military training. Soldiers who carry heavy backpacks, they're called rucksacks, and they carry them for long distances. So thankfully for you guys, I'm not suggesting you march 20 miles carrying a 50-pound backpack while someone yells at you. That's not what we're doing. We're doing the cute civilian version of that, though. So think of this. Think of a comfortable backpack, and then think about adding 10 to maybe 20 pounds of weights to get started. Think you're having a nice walk around your neighborhood, and your posture is tall, and you're walking with your backpack. That's basically what rucking is. It sounds simple enough, right? Because sometimes the best fitness ideas are the most basic and the least glamorous, really. Because here's the truth of the matter, our bodies were designed to carry things, whether that's groceries, kids, your dog, your cat, suitcases, laundry baskets. Adding some extra weight while walking simply gives your muscles more work to do, and in turn, they get stronger over time. So I've been rucking for a while now, and I actually love it. Honestly, as we age, many of us have a very complicated relationship with exercise, unnecessarily complicated. Our knees don't always cooperate with us, our hips occasionally complain, and our recovery can sometimes take longer than it used to take back in the day. Realistically, we have to come to grips with the fact that our bodies are changing as we age. And that's not a failure that any of us are, accomplishing. It's really just biology. So the goal shouldn't be to exercise like you're 21. The goal is to train in a way that works with your body and not against your body. And that's exactly where rucking shines. I'll tell you guys something I noticed recently. Like many of you, I love, love, love getting in my daily steps. It's so satisfying to look down at my Apple Watch and see that I've hit my 10,000 steps goal for the day. But after months of doing the exact same walk around my neighborhood, it started to feel a little easy for me. And anybody that knows me knows once something starts feeling easy, I'm looking for how I can up the ante and get some challenge in. So my walks weren't bad, but they just started feeling easy and too comfortable. And as we all know, all of us that listen to the podcast, all the lovelies, we know that comfort isn't where progress happens. So I started experimenting by wearing a weighted vest during some of my walks. That was my first iteration. So I wasn't trying to set any speed records or anything. I wasn't out there pretending like I was training for the Olympics. I simply wanted to make my walks work a little harder for me, to be a little bit more efficient. So I wanted to increase my walking, the return on investment for my walking. So when I added a weighted vest to my walks, the first thing I noticed was that my posture instantly improved. I couldn't slump over. You can't slump your shoulders forward when you have a weighted vest on. And my core naturally became engaged and my glutes started participating more in the action. The second thing that surprised me was that the time was going by faster. So I was more engaged, more present. I actually felt like I was training instead of simply checking off my step count. And when I got home, I felt more energized. I didn't feel tired, didn't feel like I needed a nap, and I didn't feel like my body was getting beat up. I simply felt more accomplished. And that's the sweet spot that we're looking for as we age and we modify our fitness routine. So here's why rucking helps fat loss, which I know everybody's always asking about fat loss. What can they do? This is why rucking helps that. Rucking burns more calories than simply walking. Because you're moving more total weight, your muscles have to work harder. Your heart has to work a little harder too, and your body uses more energy during your session. But here's the important part. I don't love talking about calorie burn. That's not one of my favorite things to do because that is really only a little part of the story. The real magic is what rucking encourages your body to keep. You guessed it, muscle. When you're carrying extra weight, your legs, your glutes, your core, your back, your shoulders, they all have to contribute to carrying this extra weight. So you're sending a message to your body that says, hey, keep this muscle around. I'm using it. I still need it. And that's really important because before, during, and after menopause, when maintaining muscle becomes harder and harder every year, we have to consciously think of ways to get our body to keep the muscle that we have and to build new muscle. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. It keeps your metabolism healthier and it helps you to stay stronger over time. Muscle makes everyday life easier, simply, and it gives your body that toned look that so many of us are always chasing. Muscle is like the thing. We need to really, really give it its due respect. So let's keep it real. Muscle doesn't burn thousands of calories while you're just sitting around on your couch watching Netflix. But it is awesome because when you preserve muscle while losing fat, it actually changes the way your body looks and the way your body functions. So that's a much better goal to me than simply becoming a smaller version of yourself. Muscle is where it's at. So next, I want to talk a little bit about metabolism for a minute, because the word metabolism gets thrown around a lot. Some people make it sound like your metabolism can be broken forever after menopause. And spoiler alert, it's not. Has it changed? Absolutely. Can we influence it? Yes. Also, yes. One of the biggest reasons women gain weight after the age of 40 and beyond is not simply because we're getting older, because we're aging. It's actually because we gradually lose muscle if we don't actively work to keep it. So the biological process of losing muscles actually has a name. It's called sarcopenia. And it starts a lot earlier than most people realize. And it takes off. It accelerates after menopause. So muscle is expensive tissue for your body to maintain. Your body doesn't keep it around unless there's a reason to keep it around. So the good news is that rucking gives it a reason, gives muscle a reason to stay around, because every step is loaded. Your glutes have to push harder, your quads have to absorb more of the force, and your calves have to stabilize your body. Also, really importantly, your core has to brace. Your upper back has to keep the backpack in position. And it's almost like sneaking in a full body workout as you're taking a walk. So I don't know about y'all, but I love exercises that multitask because they're just more efficient use of your time and a more efficient use of your muscles. And there's also a benefit that we don't talk about enough in general, which is bone health. So for women, once estrogen starts to decline after menopause, bone loss speeds up dramatically. And unfortunately, you don't notice it. You can't feel that your bones are getting weaker. You only really can see that in a DEXA scan. So as your bones could be getting weaker, you won't really know that until you do something like maybe trip over your dog, or you miss a curb as you're walking down the street, or you slip on an icy sidewalk. And then suddenly a broken wrist or a fractured hip changes everything. And that probably sounds a little dramatic to some people, but when we break bones as we age, it is a huge, huge deal because they take a longer time to heal. But the good news is that our bones do respond to good stress. So when you're carrying extra weight while you're walking, your skeleton experiences a slightly greater load. Now that load signals to your bones to stay stronger. Now, hello, please know that I said slightly heavier load. You do not need to be carrying a 60-pound backpack to get the benefits of rucking. In fact, please don't do that. In this instance, heavier does not necessarily mean better. Great form is always going to trump adding a ton of weight, whether you're strength training or rucking, because you have to be able to safely carry the weight. So great form is always going to be the priority. So before I added rucking to my own routine, I have been walking every day for years. Rain, shine, vacation, it really didn't matter. I was incredibly consistent. But in my quest to keep challenging myself and progressing my health, I decided to carry a little weight. So I started with 10 pounds in a backpack, 10-pound dumbbell wrapped in a towel and a backpack. That's it. After my first week of rucking, I actually had sore glutes just from walking. And I couldn't remember the last time that had happened. So then over the next few months of continuing to do rucking, my posture started to improve. And I felt stronger carrying groceries and just climbing a flight of stairs. To me, those lifestyle victories are ones that actually matter when I'm living my real life. So keep in mind, it's just not about the scale and how much you weigh. It's also about how you feel in your body and what your body can actually accomplish on a day-to-day basis. One other reason I've become such a big fan of rucking is that it gives you intensity without the impact. And I love intensity. I used to be an adrenaline junkie back in the day. I still like to do things that are intense. So you think about jumping, running, box jumps, burpees. Those all have a place in my workout and should have a place in your workout toolkit as well. But not everybody has those good knees like Megan Thee Stallion. Let's be real. Rucking increases the challenge primarily by increasing the load, not by increasing the pounding on your joints. So that's a big difference, and that's a big deal. Now, does that mean that everyone should start rucking tomorrow? Well, not necessarily. For example, if you have osteoporosis or severe arthritis, or you might have chronic back pain, balance problems, or any medical condition that affects your ability to carry weight, you have to talk with your healthcare provider first before starting rucking. It's innocent enough, but you don't want to jeopardize or hurt something that's already proven to be an issue. And if you do start much, much lighter with much, much lighter weight than your ego wants you to start with. Your joints will definitely appreciate it. So speaking of starting rucking, let's talk about exactly how to start. Here's my recommendation. Week 1, put a 5 to 10 pound weight wrapped in a towel in a sturdy backpack. Walk for 20 minutes, and that's it. Don't overthink it. Don't go out and buy $400 worth of tactical gear because you saw somebody on YouTube who said you need a military grade equipment for rucking, because you absolutely do not. If all you have is a sturdy backpack and a couple of dumbbells and a towel, you are good to go. You're a rucker. As you get stronger, slowly increase either the weight or the distance. Do not increase both at the same time. Just tweak one variable, one adaptation at a time. That's how sustainable progress actually works. Personally, I'd rather see you ruck like twice a week for the next 5 years than to go all out and spend the next week basically walking like a penguin because your legs are so sore. With rucking, consistency beats intensity every single time. So, all right, before I release you into the wild to try rucking on your own, let's touch on some common mistakes so that once you do start rucking, you're going to be safe and you can progress yourself in a safe manner. I really want to save you guys from unnecessary rookie mistakes because it's a simple process, but you have to kind of be aware of some things. So common mistake number 1, people start with too much weight. Most people think, okay, if 10 pounds is good, then 40 pounds must be amazing. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's how backs become sore and you become injured. So no, start with a conservative weight, 5, 10, maybe 15 pounds at the most. Mistake number 2, poor posture. You have to keep your shoulders back. Don't lean forward. You stand tall, chest proud. Shoulders should be back and relaxed. Have your core gently engaged and be present and be aware of how you're feeling when you're walking with your backpack, just to make sure everything is in line. Mistake number 3, using a flimsy backpack with weights that are bouncing all over the place. Now, that is not what we're trying to do. You want the weight close to your back and secure, not bouncing around like a pinball back there. So if you don't have a solid backpack already that has comfortable shoulder straps, kind of the wider, comfortable shoulder straps, then that's something that's worth investing in. And you can probably go to a thrift store and get one that's pretty cheap. A used one is fine. Mistake number 4 is thinking that every walk has to become a ruck. It really doesn't. You can absolutely mix in regular walks, strength training, tennis, pickleball, cycling, yoga, whatever you like to do, and add in a couple of rucks a week. Because fitness is not about being married to one specific exercise 100% of the time. It's about building a well-rounded routine that keeps you healthy for decades and keeps you interested in it. And this can be fun. Like I said, like on a previous podcast that I've talked about pickleball being one of my things that I discovered now 2 years ago that I play almost every day because it's super fun, but it's also a good workout and it also contributes to my step count every day. So find that thing that you love to do and make sure that you have it sprinkled into your routine and it's something that you can do consistently. Okay, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one more story. A while back, I headed out for what I thought was going to be just another walk, a typical walk. I had my backpack on, I had some weights inside of it, and I wasn't paying much attention to my pace or the distance that I was going. I just felt like moving around, getting out of the house, and just being out into nature. So, about halfway through my walk, though, I noticed something. I wasn't thinking about calories burned. I wasn't wondering about points on my Apple Watch. I wasn't negotiating with myself whether I was doing enough or not, pushing myself hard enough. I was simply walking and breathing and listening to my favorite Spotify playlist. I was looking at the trees, listening to the birds, and waving to my neighbors, just having a good old time. So I was just kind of enjoying moving my body, and it hit me that this is actually what exercise is supposed to be. Somewhere along the way, I feel like me and so many of us started believing that we weren't miserable, leaving our workout dripped in sweat or sprawled out on the floor afterwards, that the workout doesn't count. I don't know who made that rule because it's really not true. Fitness should make your life better, not make you dread your next workout. And Rucking reminded me that movement can be both challenging and enjoyable at the same time. And honestly, it's one of the biggest reasons I think so many try and stick with Rucking, because of those reasons. And Rucking definitely gets the seal of approval from the Get Lean and Lit philosophy of this podcast. So if you've listened to my podcast for any length of time, you know I do not believe in magic workouts. I don't believe in magic in general when it comes to our health. Everything needs to be intentional and needs to be supported through a strategy. So there's no exercise that just magically melts belly fat. There's no secret that turns your metabolism into a bonfire overnight. Even though we hear these titles and these declarations all over the place on social media, none of that is real. And if someone tells you otherwise, they're probably trying to sell you a detox tea or something else that you don't need and that it's not going to be effective. What I do believe in is stacking small habits that all work together, such as strength training, eating enough protein, getting adequate sleep every night, walking, managing your stress, eating enough fiber, and yes, adding something like rucking a couple of times a week if it fits your goal and it fits your body. Notice I said if. Not everyone has to ruck, obviously. Maybe your knees don't tolerate it. Maybe your shoulders have tweaks or issues. Maybe you simply hate carrying around a backpack. That's all okay. You don't get bonus points for doing something that you dread because there's too many other options out there. The best workout is still going to be the one that you actually do on a regular basis. But if you're looking for a way to make your walks more effective without turning them into punishment, rucking definitely deserves a spot on your list. So my recommendation really for rucking is, if you're brand new, here's exactly how to get started and what to do. This week, choose one of your walks, just one day. Put 5 to 10 pounds in a backpack wrapped in a towel and just simply walk for 20 minutes and pay attention to how you feel. Not just during the walk, but the very next day. Ask yourself, did your posture feel different? Did your core work a little bit harder? Did you notice that your glutes were waking up? How about, did you actually enjoy yourself? If the answer is yes, then congratulations. You found another tool to add to your healthy toolbox. Remember, fitness isn't about finding the perfect exercise. It's about building a collection of habits that work together to make you stronger, healthier, and more confident over time. So my final takeaway that I'm going to leave you with today is, when we were younger, we often thought, let's do this exercise so that we can change the way we look. I found that as I've gotten older, hopefully you found the same thing, something shifts. We start exercising because we want to keep doing the things that we love to do, such as traveling, playing pickleball, riding our bikes, hiking with friends, picking up our kids, our grandkids, lifting luggage into bins overhead without having to ask a stranger for help. To me, that's the goal. not to become the smallest version of yourself, but become the strongest, most capable version of yourself. I personally want to be the woman who says yes to all the adventures because my body is ready and capable. That's what sustainable fitness looks like to me. And if carrying a backpack while I walk helps me get there, then I think that's pretty amazing. Well, lovelies, that is all that I have for you guys today. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review. Let me know that you're listening. And share the episode with a friend who loves walking and wants to level up their walking routine. So until next time, keep it real, keep it consistent, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Boom! I just earned a $600 bonus with an Old National Bank checking account.
You got this.
I do?
Earn up to a $600 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Old National Bank. Just another reason to get old.
Can you say bonus?
Once upon a time, there was a business with dragons to slay. Trash that kept piling up and waste at every turn.
I can help with that. Reducing waste is easy, you see. And the best part is that it's totally free.
If only it were that easy.
It's not magic. A real expert from Biz Recycling can help you find ways to reduce waste and save money at your business. Schedule a free site visit and get started today.
We talk a lot about meeting people where they're at, and that's always had meaning to me, but earlier this year, that really took a new shape. I really value the fact that we have a space where people can come in and to receive these services, but not all people feel safe anymore. Coming out, going places, and just re-looking at what does it truly mean to meet people where they're at. And how do we effectively do that has been a really big part of what this year has looked like for us.
Sometimes we believe those lies, that we are no good, that maybe, this is all there is. And when I got sober, I realized, no, there's something more fighting for. And I'm out here every day fighting for it, for myself, for the women in my community, whom I love. But this Waymakers is a big part of that. So I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful. And I couldn't have done it without being sober, of course, and having the good support, because nobody can do it alone.
Community means showing up for one another. For me, and I think for our community, because many across United Health Group will talk similarly about the support that we felt. I think it underscores to us the profound need and the profound importance of what it feels like when your community supports you. So it's with that the United Healthcare Foundation is very proud to announce $1 million of support for our community partners, the Washburn Center, Catholic Community Foundation of Minnesota, which includes the Annunciation Hope and Healing Fund, the Greater Minneapolis Crisis Nursery, and Minneapolis Foundations.